Stranger Things fans, the wait is almost over. Season 5 is right around the corner, and before we head into the final battle for Hawkins, it's time to revisit the season that changed everything. Season 4 didn't just raise the stakes, it unleashed Vecna, shattered Hawkins, and left our heroes more broken and determined than ever. Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master. So if you're gearing up for the grand finale and need a complete refresher on every twist, reveal, and heartbreaking moment leading up to Season 5, this is your ultimate Stranger Things Season 4 recap. Let's get into it. The 1979 Lab Massacre Mystery. Stranger Things Season 4 is the darkest, most ambitious chapter of the series so far, and it doesn't waste a single moment pulling us straight into the horror. The story opens with a chilling flashback to 1979 as Dr. Brenner experiments on gifted children at Hawkins' lab. Everything seems normal, until it very suddenly isn't. A mysterious event wipes out every single child in that lab. Every one except 11. The show doesn't reveal the mystery just yet, but it plants the seed for a reveal that completely redefines everything we thought we knew about the Upside Down. Jump to March 1986, 8 months after the battle at Starcourt Mall, and the Byers family has started over thousands of miles away in California. Joyce, Will, Jonathan, and 11 are trying to build a new life, but it's not going well for everyone, especially 11. She's still powerless, still traumatized, and still trying to pretend she fits in at school even though she's relentlessly bullied. Her biggest bully, Angela, makes school a nightmare. Meanwhile, Joyce receives a strange porcelain doll in the mail, supposedly from Russia, and when she cracks it open, she discovers a hidden note suggesting Hopper might still be alive. In Hawkins, the Hellfire Club and a new threat. Back in Hawkins, Mike and Dustin have joined the Hellfire Club, a Dungeons & Dragons group led by the eccentric metalhead Eddie Munson. They're having the time of their lives with epic campaigns, but it means they miss Lucas playing and winning his basketball team's championship game. Lucas is trying to reinvent himself socially, while Max is spiraling, haunted by grief over Billy's death. She's isolated, quiet, and barely holding it together. And then everything goes from unsettling to horrifying when Chrissy Cunningham, the most popular girl in school, begins seeing visions of her abusive mother and a strange chiming grandfather clock. She turns to Eddie for drugs in an attempt to escape her trauma, but instead she becomes the first victim of a new, terrifying presence. Chrissy is possessed and brutally killed by the humanoid monster from her visions, Vecna. While the mystery of Chrissy's death spreads through Hawkins, we jump to Russia, where Hopper has survived the massive explosion under Starcourt Mall. Injured and captured by Soviet soldiers, he's thrown into a brutal prison camp in Kamchatka. Despite the impossible odds, Hopper starts plotting his escape. He even bribes a guard named Antonov, proving once again that Hopper refuses to die quietly. Back in California, Mike arrives to visit 11 and Will, but the reunion doesn't go as planned. Angela publicly humiliates 11 at a roller rink, and in a desperate moment of rage, 11 smashes Angela in the face with a roller skate. The authorities show up, 11 is arrested, and things take a drastic turn when Dr. Sam Owens appears and tells her Hawkins is in grave danger. He offers her a chance to regain her powers, and she agrees to leave with him. Over in Hawkins, Max confesses to Dustin that she saw Eddie fleeing the scene after Chrissy died. With Robin and Steve's help, the group finds Eddie, terrified and hiding. They piece together the truth. This isn't a typical murder. This is something supernatural. Eddie and Dustin give the creature a name pulled from their D&D lore, Vecna. Meanwhile, Nancy digs deeper into Chrissy's death with fellow student reporter Fred. They uncover whispers of a man named Victor Creel, who supposedly murdered his family decades earlier under mysterious circumstances that match Vecna's methods. And right on cue, Fred becomes Vecna's next victim when his own trauma lures him into the woods.
Belong here with me.
Nima, 11's journey into her past. 11's path takes her to a secret facility built inside an abandoned ICBM silo, where Owens and Brenner have developed a device called Nina. It's designed to help her relive and unravel her memories so she can regain her powers. It's brutal, disorienting, and painful. After her first session, she tries to escape, but in a moment of desperation, her powers flicker back. That small breakthrough convinces her to continue. On the Russian front, Joyce and Murray travel to Alaska to deliver the ransom money to help Hopper. But the smuggler Yuri betrays everyone, drugs them, and plans to sell them and Hopper to the Russians for a bonus payday. Hopper's escape attempt gets crushed as he's recaptured, beaten, and thrown into an even worse situation. In Hawkins, Max starts putting the pieces together when she steals Chrissy's and Fred's counselor files and finds they had the same symptoms she now has: headaches, nightmares, and visions of a creepy grandfather clock. Soon, she hears Vecna whispering her name. She knows she's next. Things go from bad to worse when Joyce and Murray are captured after Yuri's setup, but they turn the tables mid-flight in one of the funniest showdowns of the season. They crash land in the Russian wilderness and force Yuri to take them to the prison. Meanwhile, Max writes goodbye letters to everyone she loves, convinced her time is up. When she visits Billy's grave, Vecna finally strikes. Max is pulled into his mindscape, frozen at his altar of victims. As she's about to die, the Hawkins group discovers that music can break Vecna's hold. They play Running Up That Hill, Max's favorite song, and in a desperate slow-motion escape, she breaks through a portal back to reality. Back in California, Jonathan, Will, Mike, and Argyle barely escape a military ambush at the Byers house thanks to a dying federal agent who slips them a pen with coordinates to the Nina facility. They need someone tech-savvy to decode it, so they seek out Susie in Utah. 11 dives deeper into her memories. She befriends an orderly who secretly warns her about the cruelty of Hawkins' lab. She recalls being bullied by other test subjects and starts to fear she was the one who caused the massacre. The truth is still buried. The truth about Vecna. Henry Creel, 001. Back in Russia, Hopper warns fellow prisoners that the sudden feast is not kindness. It's preparation. They're about to be fed to the Demogorgon. Hopper manages to steal a lighter because he knows one thing: fire is the monster's only weakness. In Hawkins, the town descends into chaos as Jason, Chrissy's boyfriend, blames Eddie and the Hellfire Club for supernatural satanic crimes. It ignites a witch hunt mentality that spreads fear across the town. Meanwhile, the kids discover that each of Vecna's murders opens a new gate to the Upside Down. Their compasses go haywire, leading them to Lover's Lake. Steve dives underwater to check for a gate, but gets yanked straight into the Upside Down. Nancy, Robin, and Eddie dive after him, leaving the other group to scramble on the surface. Joyce and Murray finally infiltrate the prison disguised as Yuri. From above, they witness the fight with the Demogorgon begin. Hopper uses his flaming spear just long enough for Joyce and Murray to break the control room and open the doors. Hopper escapes and reunites with Joyce at last. The crew in Hawkins regroups, but as Nancy tries to leave the Upside Down through the Chrissy Gate, Vecna grabs her. In her vision, she learns the truth. Vecna is Henry Creel, Victor Creel's son. Henry had psychokinetic powers and killed his own family. Brenner adopted him as his first test subject, 001. Henry is the orderly 11 befriended, and it was Henry, not 11, who slaughtered everyone at Hawkins' lab. 11 overpowered him and accidentally sent him to the Upside Down, where he transformed into Vecna. Before releasing Nancy, Vecna shows her a chilling prophecy. Hawkins will fall, and the barriers between dimensions will break. The groups regroup and realize Vecna needs 4 kills to open 4 gates. Max volunteers to be bait. As her symptoms return, 11 learns of Max's plan through her visions. She insists on returning to Hawkins, but Brenner locks her in, insisting she's not ready. Sullivan's military forces storm the base, killing the staff. Brenner tries to flee with 11, but is shot. 11 stops a helicopter with her powers and says goodbye to Brenner, refusing to forgive him. Back in the States, Mike, Will, Jonathan, and Argyle create a makeshift sensory tank to help 11 enter Max's mind. Meanwhile, in Hawkins, the plan begins. Steve, Nancy, and Robin attack Vecna's body in the Upside Down, while Dustin and Eddie lure the bat creatures away. Eddie gives his life fighting them off, choosing to be a hero instead of running. Vecna survives, and Hawkins falls apart. Inside the mental battlefield, 11 confronts Vecna, but he overpowers her and begins killing Max. Vecna reveals that he shaped the Upside Down, and he created the Mind Flayer. Everything since Season 1 has been part of his grand design. Mike confesses his love for 11, and his words fuel her comeback. 11 breaks Vecna's hold, but not in time. Max dies in Lucas's arms. 11 screams and uses her powers to restart Max's heart, but the damage is done. Max's brief death completes the fourth gate. In Russia, Hopper, Joyce, and Murray kill the remaining Demogorgons, weakening Vecna. Steve, Nancy, and Robin burn and blast his physical body, which falls from the window but vanishes. 2 days later, the town believes an earthquake hit Hawkins. People are displaced, homes are destroyed, and Max lies in a coma with her mind in a void. 11 can't reach her. The group regathers, bruised and grieving, and as they look out toward the horizon, Will feels something cold, something familiar. Vecna is still alive, and the Upside Down begins merging with Hawkins, setting the stage for the final war to come. Our nerdy thoughts. And that wraps up our look into what's coming in Stranger Things 5. The final chapter is shaping up to be darker, bigger, and more emotional than anything Hawkins has faced before. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, drop your wildest theories in the comments, and subscribe so you don't miss any updates from the Upside Down. Thanks for watching, stay strange, and remember, in Hawkins, nothing is ever really over.